Thank you very much. It's a great honor to have the Vice Premier of China with us and also the Vice Minister of Trade of China. We have had long discussions. This has been going on for quite some time. It will be by far, if it happens, the biggest deal ever made, not only the biggest trade deal ever made. It will be the biggest trade deal by far, but it'll also be the biggest deal ever made. The two largest countries doing a trade deal, there won't be anything that will match that, and we'll see what happens. We've done very well. We've had a very, very strong relationship, as my relationship is with President Xi. I think we'll start by reading the letter that President Xi sent to me and to us. It puts us off to a good foot, and then we'll also repeat a couple of the remarks that the Vice Premier stated, and then we are going to have Mr. Lighthizer speak for a couple of seconds, and we're then going to get back to business, and you can go and have fun and write your stories. So thank you very much for being here. We appreciate it. And if you could start by reading the letter from President Xi, and maybe you could speak louder.
Message from President Xi to President Trump. Mr. President, I send you my best wishes as a new round of high-level consultation is being held between our two countries on economic and trade issues. I ask Mr. Liu He to bring to you sincere greetings and best wishes from you. Right now, China-U.S. relations are at a critically important stage. Last month, we had a successful meeting in Argentina, in which we agreed to work together to build a bilateral relationship based on coordination, cooperation, and stability. That was followed by the good conversation we had through a phone call and the letters of congratulations we sent each other on the 40th anniversary of our diplomatic relations. Guided by the agreement we reached, our economic teams have engaged in intensive consultations and made good progress. I hope our two sides will continue to act in a spirit of mutual respect and win-win cooperation, and step up consultations by meeting each other halfway in order to reach an early agreement that works for the interest of both sides. Such an agreement will send a positive signal to our two peoples and the broader international community. It will serve to ensure healthy development of China-U.S. relations and contribute to steady growth of the world economy. Mr. President, in our last phone call, you said you wanted for China to buy more agricultural products. I have made some arrangements, about which I believe you might have been briefed. As I often say, I feel we have known each other for a long time, ever since we first met. I cherish the good working relations and personal friendship with you. I enjoy our meetings and phone calls in which we could talk about anything. It falls to us to work together and accomplish things meaningful for the people of our two countries and the world at large. Mr. President, if there is anything, you could always approach me through various means. I hope we'll keep close contact in various ways. As the Chinese Lunar New Year draws near, my wife and I wish to send our New Year greetings to you, to Melania, and your family. May you enjoy a happy and prosperous New Year.
That's a beautiful letter. We appreciate it. You may go with the Vice Premier statements, and then I'm going to ask you to say a few words back. Please.
The Vice Premier said that President Xi attaches tremendous importance to his personal friendship with you and hopes to see your continued success. And over the past 2 years since you took office, you have made tremendous accomplishments on both the domestic and diplomatic front. Thanks to your policies of tax reduction and deregulation, the U.S. economy, as I heard from my American colleagues over dinner last night, is now enjoying high growth and low employment with unprecedented prosperity. And it is because of your decisive decision that has directly facilitated the major breakthrough on the relationship between the U.S. and the DPRK. And under the strategic guidance of you and President Xi and you, Mr. President, it is hopeful that China and the U.S. will have the possibility of striking a historical deal on trade. And my trip to the U.S. this time is to follow through on the important agreement reached between you and President Xi to accelerate the 90-day consultation between China and the United States in the hope of striking a comprehensive deal. And we've been working conscientiously with Ambassador Lighthizer and Secretary Mnuchin over the past couple of days, and our discussions are going well. We have achieved a lot of important consensus towards the direction of striking a comprehensive deal, which is to be ultimately reached between you and President Xi.
Well, thank you very much. Bob, maybe you can say just a few words as to where we are, how we're doing, what we're discussing, and then maybe I'll ask the Vice Premier to say a few words, and we'll get on with our negotiations.
Great, thank you, Mr. President.
Perhaps, do you want to say that?
说，那现在想请莱特海瑟大使来就我们的会谈。
Got it? He speaks very good English.
Based on many months of negotiations, we had 2 very intense and very long days of discussions. Your team all of your team was involved. I think we made progress. We have much work to do. We're going to have an agreement, but we made substantial progress. We focused on the most important issues, which are the structural issues, that is protection of U.S. intellectual property, stopping for technology transfer, intellectual property protection, agricultural and services issues, and enforcement. Both sides agree this agreement is worth nothing. If we can get an agreement that's worth nothing without enforcement, that's been your instruction from the beginning. So we're focusing, we have a lot more issues to cover, but we focused on the structural issues, the ones that you've been so focused on, and we talked about enforcement.
And you'll be going in early February with your group to China to continue negotiations.
Mr. President, we are more or less in continuous negotiations. There'll be a brief pause for the Chinese New Year, briefer than the Chinese want. But our people will be in contact. We're going back and forth with papers and with discussions. The Secretary and I will be going over there shortly, and then we'll see where we are. At this point, it's impossible for me to predict success, but we are in a place that if things work out, we could have.
Okay. Thank you very much. I appreciate it, and we look forward to that, and we look forward to the results of your trip. But you're really discussing it anywhere, whether you're in China or here. We have a thing called a telephone and other means of talking. So I know you're spending a lot of time, and it's moving along well. So I just want to say the Vice Premier is a friend of mine. He has become, he is truly one of the most respected men in Asia, one of the most respected men in all of China. And frankly, one of the most respected men anywhere in the world, and it's a great honor to have you with us. And if you'd like to say a few words, please, Leo.
With honor to video, Mr. President. I think you can hear me. Yeah. And I fully agree with the report just said by Ambassador Mr. Lighthizer. And actually, we have to discuss 3 key things. First, about trade issues, and secondly, about structural issues, and third, about enforcement of implementation. But at the same time, we also discuss something from China. We need to do something with the fact that the U.S. counterpart wants to solve some problem raised by us. So I thank you so much to give me the chance. And I'm waiting for the delegation in Beijing next month. Yes. I hope we could make a deal.
They'll be going, and we look forward to that. And then a little back and forth, and ultimately I know that I'll be meeting with President Xi, maybe once and maybe twice, and it'll all seem to come, it seems to be coming together. I do appreciate the fact that you said so much about our farmers, and that you'll be doing purchases quickly about the farmers. That's really wonderful.
We will buy 5 million.
You may want to speak up.
5 million trees.
5 million.
5 million tons of soybeans.
5 million tons of soybeans. Wow. That's great. Per day. That's going to make our farmers very happy. That's a lot of soybeans. Well, that's really nice. And I know they said some other things, and we'll put out a release for the press. But the relationship is very, very good between China and the United States. And the personal relationships are very good with the Vice Premier, with myself and President Xi, and with our representatives. It's been very, very good. And, you know, you read a lot of things. Sometimes you hear good, sometimes you don't hear good. But I will say that I think the relationship that we have right now with China has never been so advanced. I don't think it's ever been better, but I can tell you for a fact it's never been so advanced. And certainly a deal has never been so advanced, because essentially we don't have a deal. We never had a trade deal. We're going to have a great trade deal. But we never really had a trade deal with China. And now we're going to have a great trade deal with China if it all works out. And we look forward to it. It's going to be great for both countries. Not just us, not just them. This is going to be great for both countries. And I know you've already done a lot of opening up China to the financial services industry. It's been happening very rapidly. And hopefully we can get that done for our farmers, our manufacturers, and likewise the United States. So it's just an honor to be with you, and I will see you today, but I'll see you a lot over the next month, that I can tell you. Okay? Thank you very much. It's a great honor. Thank you.
Mr. President, when do you want to meet with President Xi?
We haven't set up a meeting yet. I think we're working on seeing where everybody is, and then we'll meet to discuss some final issues. And it may be a lot, it may be a small amount, but I have a feeling they'll be agreed to pretty quickly by both countries. Both countries would like to see a positive result.
And have you seen enough progress based on what you've heard from your team so far on IT and technology?
Yeah,
transfer?
very much. Technology transfer, IT. I think that we have made tremendous progress. That doesn't mean you're going to have a deal, but I can say that there is a tremendous relationship and warm feeling, and we've made tremendous progress.
Mr. President, did you talk to your intelligence chiefs today about the displeasure you had with their...
I did, and they said that they were totally misquoted, and they were totally, it was taken out of context. So what I do is I'd suggest that you call them. They said it was fake news, so which frankly didn't surprise me. Excuse me. It didn't surprise me at all. But we're here to talk right now about China.
Did the fact they didn't bring up the border as the world threat assessment, did that undermine or undercut?
Didn't undermine anything. We need a wall, and if we don't have a wall, we're never going to have security for our
But they
country.
didn't bring it up as part of the national security
Next.
assessment. Did that undercut?
Please.
Can you provide any more detail about the soybean offer and deal?
Well, I think it's so nice that you said soybeans. That's a tremendous purchase, which will take place now, and our farmers are going to be very happy. So, when is the soybean taking place?
We have already put meeting.
They've already started.
And today we'll start another phase 5. It's 12 meeting talk.
So they started on a smaller scale, and today they're starting very big, and I very much appreciate that. Please tell President Xi, and on behalf of the agricultural industry and on behalf of our farmers, frankly, we appreciate it very much. It's a very big order.
Chinese people like U.S. farmers very much.
They like the U.S. farmers. Well, we have good product, and you can use it, and it's very nice. No, but I really appreciated that. That was really fantastic to say. That's before we make a deal. It's a fantastic sign of faith.
Mr. President, was the Huawei case discussed during negotiations?
No, we haven't discussed that yet. It will be, but it hasn't been
In what
discussed.
aspect? How will it be discussed?
Well, it'll be discussed. I'm sure at some point that'll be. That actually, as big as it might seem, is very small compared to the overall deal, but that will be discussed. Anything else?
Combo the trips to see Xi and to meet Chairman Kim again?
Excuse me?
Do you want to combine the trips to see Chairman Kim for your meeting?
It's possible. We'll see how it is. We haven't discussed it yet. When President Xi and I meet, we want to have it down so that we have certain points that we can discuss, and I would say agree to, but we're not quite at that stage yet. But all of these representatives and these representatives are coming to a conclusion except for certain very important points. And we want to make it comprehensive. We want to make a deal that we can look at and be proud of for many years, not where we have to go back and renegotiate or we left things out. So whether it's intellectual property or whether it's any of the other things that we discuss all the time, we want to try, would you say, have everything included. We want to have it very comprehensive.
What are the specific points that you feel like you need to negotiate one-on-one with him for?
Well, we really have discussed many of those points today, but I would say probably more than any other thing, every single point that you discuss in the newspapers and on television, those are the points that we're discussing. I don't think I've ever heard of any point that was discussed by the folks that really represent you and represent you well. It's every single one of those points have been discussed in our transactions and our trade deal, in this trade deal.
Mr. President, you said earlier you'd be willing to postpone this. What did you mean by that? You want to extend the deadline, or what did you mean by that?
We haven't talked about extending the deadline. The deadline is March 1st. That deadline has stayed, and we really haven't talked about it. Maybe we don't. I don't think we have to extend. Now, at a certain point, you're going to have, this is a very complex and a very large, it's the largest transaction ever made, to be perfectly straight. We have to get this put on paper at some point if we agree. There are some points that we don't agree to yet, but I think we will agree. I think when President Xi and myself meet, every point will be agreed to. One of the things that we discussed in Argentina was fentanyl. This is not a trade deal. This is a fact that President Xi was extremely good when he said that they would criminalize fentanyl, because fentanyl is killing a lot of our great American people. And if they did what they are going to do, it would very much halt, or at least, I think it would stop fentanyl from coming into this country, which would be a tremendous thing.
Mr. Lighthizer
And so that's a separate than a trade deal, but it's a very important thing.
Mr. Lighthizer mentioned enforcement. How do you envision an enforcement mechanism working?
Well, I think we're going to have strong enforcement language both ways. They want enforcement too. And I think we're going to have it both ways, and we'll have strong enforcement language. This is a serious deal that we're doing. This could be done very quickly, very easily, but it wouldn't be comprehensive. It would be small. And I just want to end by saying, really as a sign of good faith, for China to buy that much of our soybeans and other product that they've just committed to us prior to the signing of the deal is something that makes us very proud to be dealing with them. I think that the farmers who have already been notified of this by me and my representatives and by Sonny Perdue is here, Secretary of Agriculture. I think that was music to your ears, Sonny, right?
Absolutely.
And that's a big number. That's a big number even for you to hear, right?
Good news. Our folks will be happy.
Will you let the farmers know right away?
They'll know before I know.
And that was more than even soybeans. That was the other things that we discussed before the press came in. They discussed other things that they're buying also. So, Sonny, if you would let everybody know, that would be great. Were you surprised to hear that?
Pleased to hear that.
That's going to keep the farmers busy. That's going to keep them busy. That's a big order. So let's keep going. Let's start our discussions, and we'll ask the media to leave. Thank you all very much. We appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
I think so. Steve, you're going.
Yeah, I'll go. Ambassador Lighthizer.
Thank you.
Are you going? Are you going there?